Hello people, so I would like to introduce you to the mini printer. So you can see the name here, mini printer, right? So this is a mini printer, right? So here's the power button. Okay, here's the power button, and this is where you actually place the ink in. Okay, and then this is where the print head actually shows, right? So this is where the print head, if after inserting the ink here, you have the print head actually showing up here. So this is what we call the mini printer. There are various models, right? We have about 3 or 4 different models to show you today. So this is model number 1. So I'll show you model number 2. Model number 2 looks like this. Okay, this is similar. I'll show you model number 2. So model number 2 looks like this. So this is also a mini printer, right? You can actually pop it open here, right? That's the screen, and this is where the print head actually shows up from. So this is also model number 2, and there's model number 3, which I want to show you right now. So model number 3 is this one. Model number 3 is this one. This is model number 3. So you have all these 3 models. These are 3 different models, and they all do the same thing, right? They all do the same thing. So these are 3 different models. These are 3 different models, right? So they are all mini printers. So today I'm going to talk briefly about the first one, the blue one, right? So you can immediately tell that it has a metallic power button. Okay, so to switch it on, place your hand here on the power button for at least 5 seconds. Place your hand on the power button for at least 5 seconds, and then it actually comes on just like that. You can see mini printer written clearly on top of it on the screen. So immediately you see only 3 different icons. There's about, there's print, there's config, right? So about, config, and then print. So today let's talk about the config. So with config, you can see it has very simple things. You can see the beeping effect. So you turn it off and then it won't beep anymore. Turn it back on, it beeps when there's an action. And then there's touch adjustment, this one. So with this, you can use that to calibrate the screen, right? You can use that to calibrate the screen, right? So this is what does the screen calibration, right? So here, touch adjustment does the calibration. Then language is what you use to adjust the language. So depending on where you are from, you can choose a language that of choice. See, okay, so you can see there's various languages here depending on where you are from. Okay, and then there's default. With default, it actually resets the whole device to its default settings. And then there's lock. I think lock should be used for if you want to actually type something and then you don't want that to change. That's where the lock comes in. So I think that should be it. And then there should be print settings. So with print settings, there's a lot you can actually learn from this print setting. But today I just want to show you this particular one, right? This particular button, it says continuous, right? So with this button, what it does is you don't need to change much here, but during use, right, you would have to press this button, the power button, and then actually swipe the printer on the surface for you to get the printout. Now if you select continuous, right, what's going to happen is when you press the button once during print, of which let me demonstrate very shortly. So we have file here, right? Let me add a new file, and then let me add a text file here. So here you can type whatever you want to type. You can see, let's say MFG. Okay, so it's actually giving me the Chinese alphabet. Let me go for Arial and let me type MFG. Okay, I think I'm having some issues here. So let me go back here and then let me reset it. So it goes back to factory default. So let me come to print, add here, add the text. So here I want to add, let's say It's actually giving me something else here. So let me go back, exit, config. Let me do the screen recalibration once again, and then let me go to config again, print setting, and then time setting, print setting. I think everything seems to be okay right here. Everything seems to be okay right here. So let me select English. Right, let me select English. Let me press OK. Let me come to print here, and then so I add here text. Right, I add here text. So let me click on something like this. Select English here. Press OK, and then let me type something. So I think it's working now. So let me type in MFG. MFG stands for manufacturing. So for those of you who are into manufacturing, MFG should be what you should use. So manufacturing means manufacturing date, right? So manufacturing MFG, and then you add your column here. Then add, let's say, today's date. Should be, let's say, 21st, right? 21st of March 2026, 26. Okay, so when that is done, when you are satisfied with what you see, you just press enter. So that text is actually typed in. But remember, when this is typed, you can't, it's not saved. The text is not saved yet. So this is what you actually typed in. Okay, so you would have to first of all, you would have to save this particular work. So you click on file and click on save, and then let's name this file. Let's call it file 1. File 1. So then press enter. So file 1 is actually saved. So the next time we save, it is saved as file 1. Okay, so now let's try and make the text a bit more appealing. So with MFG, I would want to make it caps here. So you press this, and then you type MFG. Okay, then you press enter, and press here enter. So this particular one, plus and minus, this actually one plus and minus makes the text bigger or smaller. So you can see the numbers are changing. You see, so you make it bigger or smaller. So you can see the text looks much bigger. Let's try and make it smaller. Okay, so you can see W here represents width, H represents the height. So let's make the width smaller. Okay, let's press OK. So this is what you get. Remember, what you see on the screen, the size of the text you see on the screen doesn't always reflect what is printed on the material, on the box or the bottle. So sometimes it looks big right here, but when after you use it to you actually print on the surface, you find out that the text looks a bit much smaller. Okay, but for us to make it look better, let's reduce it to maybe 25. Okay, so now you can see the text still looks bigger. So in order to make it smaller, you can actually change the text to maybe this. Okay, let me make it smaller to maybe this. Okay, I think it's still going to look the same. So let's make the height much smaller. So I'm actually reducing the height, and still I'm reducing the height here. Okay, so now I think that should be the right thing, reducing the height a little bit. So we have that. So MFG is today is the 21st of March 2026. So now let's save this file, and then we are going to add additional text. So we click on add here, right, and then text here. Then we type EXP. EXP stands for expiry. Okay, EXP stands for expiry. So EXP is expiry date. Right, so EXP is expiry. So and then let's assume that the product expires in 6 months, and we are in March. So March, April. So for 6 months we count from this month. So April. Let's count it this one: April, May, June, July, August, September. So September should be expiry date. So 21st of September, right? 21st of September. September is 09 and then 26. So you can clearly see this is expiry date. So you press enter here. So now the moment you type it in, the text you type would actually hide in the background here. You see, it will actually hide in the background here. I think it's a programming issue. They have to be able to rewrite the code so that the next text appears on the next line. But unfortunately, when you type something, you add a text here, right? When you add the text actually appears here. So you would have to select it and drag it to the left. See, so with this device, what you do is that if you want to change anything, select the text and you can actually move it about like this. You can actually use your hand to do the same thing, but using the pen is much easier. So now we have here EXP. So EXP, let's make it a bit appealing. So we'll make the heights a bit smaller. Okay, and then the width also smaller. So you press OK. Right. So you have MFG as 21st of April 2026, 21st of March 2026, and then EXP 21st of September 2026. So let's make it a bit smaller again. So make the width smaller and make the height also smaller. So with the width, I'm getting 19.4, and then with the width here, I'm also getting 3.8. So let me save that and then make it smaller here for the second one too. So click on edit. So I'm getting 19 point something. It's unfortunate that this text, this particular width, you can't get the same thing that you get on the other side. So I think it's a programming issue that has to be dealt with. And then here, let me save. I want to find out what size we got for this. It's 3.8. So we are supposed to get 3.8 for this too. So 3.8. So I'm getting here 3. Okay, so 3.8. We press OK. Right. So now we have MFG and then we have EXP. So now let's save it. All right, let's save it. Great. So now the next thing you're supposed to add should be maybe the batch number here. So to actually add a batch number in some other text, let me make it smaller again. So you click on edit, and then let's make this, let's say 16.5, and let's make this 3.0. Okay, so 16.5, 3.0. So let me do the same here. 16.5. So 3.0. Okay, so it's a bit so much smaller. So with these two, we can literally add some more text. So let's save it here. Click on save. Right. So with this save, now what we do is that let's add two more items. So you click here, add text. See image. We are going to deal with image in the future, but today we are dealing with text. So with text, let's add the batch number. So batch. Okay, so batch, and then we create a semicolon here, right? And then the batch should be, say, the batch should be a number that, let's say ACC 0001. So the batch is like the group of items that you actually sell per time. So let's say today's batch is 500,000 pieces, right? So you produce 500,000 pieces, it's batch 1, and that would be the code, right? So you press enter, and then you make it smaller, 16.5 here, and then we get here 3.0. And press OK. So the batch appears here. So let me do something here. Press OK. Let me see something here. 16.6. Okay, so here, let me see this. Okay, so let me make it smaller. Okay, make it smaller, 16. So there's 8. Let me go up a little bit. Okay, so and then make this also 3.0 is fine. So press OK. So you can tell that they're almost the same, but this particular text looks a bit different. So let me see this. Edit 16.6 Arial. So here, let me see, edit 16.9. Let me make it 16. Okay, let's make it 3.0. Let me bring this one here and then press OK. So let me check which font it is. Okay, and then let me check this one too. Arial 16.5, and so it looks like there's something going on because the text actually looks a bit different. Okay, no worries. So let's add the extra one. So let's add here maybe let's add let's say FDA. If you have an FDA number, type here FDA. Okay, so I'm going to guess what type of FDA number we are going to put there. So let's say FDA, and you have / here 09 and then something to represent the FDA number. You press enter, so you have FDA, and then you press OK. So now you see the text height on the left side, so we make it smaller again. Let's push it down here, and then we make it smaller. So 16.0, right? 16.0, 16.0. Okay, 16.0. I'm getting a 17. It looks like every text that comes out actually the size looks a bit different. So I'm trying to get 3.0. Trying to get 3.0 here. So 3.0. So that's it. So now let me push this down here. Let me push down here. Okay, so let me push down and push down there. So there's expiry. Okay, there's expiry. Alright, there's expiry. So let me save this. Save. Right. So you can see this. These are the text that you want to print on your bottle or your box, right? And then you can add other things. You can add an image, a date, a counter, QR code, a barcode, a paragraph. So let's try and add a barcode. So let's use EN13, right? And then let's write something there. Let's put in some random numbers and press OK. Okay, so with barcodes you're supposed to get it right, otherwise it won't work at all. So let me use a QR code instead. So let me make the QR code a bit smaller. Edit. So let me set this. Edit. Let me make the QR code much smaller. Press OK. Okay. All right. So now we have MFG EXP batch FDA. Right. So when you're done, you save it. Click and save. Click on save. So today I don't have the ink to actually try it, but this is basically how to set it up. Right. Basically how to set it. So you want to start printing. The first thing you do is, now that the file is saved, come to exit. You come to config, and always make sure that I come to print setting. Always make sure this is selected. Right. Make sure continue is selected. You press OK, so that when you press once, it looks like the file is missing. So when you have this situation, you click on file, open, and then look for file 1, because that's what we actually created. Select it and press open. Oops. So everything we did is gone basically. Though we saved it. Let me try and see. Okay, everything we basically did is actually gone. I don't know why that happened, but I would have to look at it again. So let me add one more thing. Text. Let's say let me add one more thing. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Press enter. Press OK. So now let me bring this here, right? And then let me save it again. Save it. Save. Okay. So if I exit, let me try and go back in and see if the file is there. So it's still there. So exit, go back in, the file is there. Okay, so let's assume this is what you are printing. The first one looks like something happened, it's all gone. So to print, we click here once. You see, you click here once to set it, to prep it. Okay, and then you actually put the ink here. This is where the ink goes. The ink goes here. And then you look for the surface on which you want to print, and then you swipe it on the surface. So you see that in this situation, we actually selected the continuous print effect. So continuous print effect, what's going to happen is you can actually, anytime you swipe, it's going to print. So you can hear the print beep. You know, it's beeping. It's because the continuous print functionality has been set. So you can literally print as many times you want without having to press the print button every time. So this particular step is very important. You have to take note. It's a very important step. So I would leave the video here. We're going to continue later, and as I told you before, we're going to review all the others. So thank you for watching my video, and good day.